All right, so we're live from Eastern Europe, and this is a daily update. So today I tried to pay for my health insurance in this Eastern European country, and Banco Santander link didn't work, so I'm still waiting to pay for my insurance. I have to buy health insurance for my residence permit. I also have to prove the schedule of classes and the synopsis, the syllabus for the entire course, which lasts at least a year. I had to buy 18 months of classes to qualify for this residence visa here. Also, I had to deposit $20,000 in Santander, most of which I'll send back to the United States after I get my proof. So I went to a local cafe. Pretty swish and stylish. They give you a little plastic animal to mark your place when they're bringing your order to you at your table, so they know where you are. I had a cappuccino, and I got my homework, my language homework, out of my backpack. I'm studying A1 level, so I'm looking. It's basic sentences like, this is a chair, this is a door, what is this? How are you? Hello. And so I studied my language. It's sort of, the cafe reminded me sort of like someone's living room. And almost everyone there was in their 20s and 30s. And I remember back when I was like 28 or 29, I was in this country and I was teaching English. And I'm looking around, and all these younger people are now speaking English pretty well. And there's even one native of the country teaching English to another native of the country. And it wasn't a native speaker teacher, but she was tutoring English. And her English was pretty good. The level of English has gone way up since the 1990s. So thanks to all the teachers that sacrificed financially a year of their lives to come here to this country to help them improve and get them into the European Union, which didn't happen until 2004. So I'm just looking at people and thinking, this is the age of my students, roughly. And also, some of the people were my age when I was in this country in Eastern Europe back then. And so I'm reviewing all the basics of this language. Really stupid sentences, but I've forgotten a lot of it because I haven't used it. It's been mixed up with Russian and French, Spanish, Czech, Turkish, and it's sort of hard to switch languages. You have to get into the groove of things. Other than that, it's a rainy day here in this city. Sort of sprinkly. Not worth sitting outside because it's too cold. And a lot of good-looking girls around. I wonder what it would have been like, when I was younger if I were in the same situation. But a cafe like this, I don't think really existed back in the 1990s. I would just go to school, teach my classes, maybe go to a mleczniczny restaurant, sort of a low-price buffet, and then I would go shopping for food and come home to my apartment. And on the weekends, I didn't really know that many people until later, I remember. And then I had like 4 women pursuing me back then. So I didn't hang out at bars the whole time that I was here the last time, until my girlfriend invited me to a bar and drank about 8 beers over the course of 5 hours. She really liked beer. She was a petite, cute girl. and that's how she sort of relaxed. I guess that's maybe part of a national trait. They don't really relax socially until they drink 2 or 3 beers. She drank 8. I was wondering how she could handle it. She was such a small person. Anyway, so it was good to have a beer drinking girlfriend. And I sort of noticed that about the people here. They're a little socially cautious. But once you cross that barrier, they pretty much stick to you. And they want to be your friend. And as far as a woman, they're probably the most aggressive woman in Eastern Europe. Once they make the decision to go for you, they'll pursue you and make it pretty easy. Back then I had the status of being from LA and being in a small town, sort of a coal mining town in the south of this country. But that was quite a bit, was that 25 years ago or 30 years ago? So now I'm in a big city here, and I don't really have a social network yet. And so that's a little bit different scene. So plans for the future. Oh no, one thing I was the future. I've been planning for the future since January 28th, when I left Ukraine, and I came up to this country from Odessa, Ukraine, as a precautionary move in case Putin invaded. In the event that, and I didn't think he would invade. 3 weeks later he did, and then I had to change plans, and there were a lot of refugees coming up, and it was hard to get accommodations, so I went to Portugal and to England. Back then I was trying to figure out, okay, where can I live now? I don't want to go back to the United States. So I researched all these different residence permits. I was basically looking for an income visa. Basically, you just prove that you have a certain amount of income, show you have health coverage, health insurance, show you have a lease for an apartment, and fill out a bunch of documents. In case of the Spanish residence visa, it's a lot of documents, and you have to do it in the United States at a consulate there. Same thing with the Portuguese visa. You have to be in your country and apply at the consulate in your country before you come over. And Spain and Portugal offer income visas, or quote-unquote retirement visas, where you just prove that you have a sufficient amount of investments or income that it's liquid and that you could access to cover all your costs. Because at least in Spain, you're not allowed to work. In Portugal, you can get a work permit through this residence permit. But, I researched that. I also researched a visa, sort of a retirement income visa for this particular Eastern European country, and I couldn't find anything. I contacted about 4 or 5 lawyers, and they never answered me. And if they did, it was, I wanted to get specifically to this visa that was solely a residence visa. It wasn't an investment visa of like 100 to 200K. Wasn't a full-time university student visa. Wasn't buying a business or anything. I just wanted a problem-free residence visa based on income and sufficient income. But I couldn't find it in this country. There was one lawyer on a small website, and she said, "Oh, you can. I know a special type of visa that not many people know about, and it's relatively easy to get. But the consultation fee to sort of understand what this visa was all about, what the requirements were, and be informed on the entire process, that would cost me $150 consultation." So I hesitated. And that ended up, my God, I ended up 2 months in Portugal, a month in England, a month in Los Angeles. So I spent all that money and time, and I was still trying to decide, should I get the Spanish visa? Should I get the Portuguese visa? How about this country in Eastern Europe? Can I get this visa? couldn't get the information. And I'm going, okay, well, what do I do? And because I didn't take the risk of spending $150 for this consultation with this one specific lawyer in this country that offered an option to the investment, expensive $200,000 investment visas, the business visa, and the full-time university student visa, this one lawyer who offered this option to that for an easier residence visa, I didn't call her until like 2 or 3 weeks before I left Los Angeles. I'd been in Los Angeles like maybe 2 weeks, and I go, well, what are my options? I don't want to stay in LA. So I had a consultation with the lawyer, and she finally told me what it was about. And I thought, I think I'll just do this. This is easier than, waiting in LA for like up to 6 months to get my Spanish or Portuguese visa. So I look back, and I thought I was thinking logically, and I wasn't going to waste money on a lawyer that was going to tell me everything I already knew about visas in this Eastern European country. And basically, I didn't qualify for any of them, and I wasn't willing to invest $200K or be a full-time university student. But, at the end, I just decided, okay, well, that little avoidance, that hesitation to gamble $150 for some lawyer that said she had the information, but I thought she was trying to manipulate the situation and just tell me after the consultation, oh, you don't qualify for this. I thought she was just trying to get a consultation fee easily. And I thought, well, I told her, I said, there's nothing you're going to tell me about your Eastern European residence visa that I don't already know, and I don't qualify, so why should I call you? But I ended up calling her anyway when I was in LA, and then I decided, wow, 2 weeks later I was back in Eastern Europe. So I guess that's, looking at the big picture there, is sort of my logical mind, common sense, and even, like praying about this. What should I do now? Asking for divine wisdom. Which visa should I try for? What should I do? I never got a clear answer except just my own logic. And I could have avoided the whole thing by taking a risk and gambling $150. So maybe divine guidance isn't so accessible, no matter how much you pray. Logic and methodical thinking and common sense has its limits as well. And in the end, you sort of just roll the dice. It's all sort of a gamble because you never know what's going to happen. You don't have all the information. You take the risk, you gamble, and I think there's a deeper intuition based on your desire, what you really want to do, and you try to figure out a way to do it. And it's sort of a gut level feeling that goes beyond logical thinking. And it's often based on what you really want to do. So maybe you should just follow that, because almost everything else fails. Logical thinking, research, you pray and think that God's going to give you this instant clarity. But it doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't happen. I think sometimes it's gut level intuition and rolling the dice. It's all, rolling the dice, especially in which country in Europe to live in and work in. You can do your research, but in the end, you just make your decision based on what you want to do. So my advice to all nomadic peoples, nomadic Americans and from other countries, that you want to live in Europe or Eastern Europe or UK, just decide what you want to do and then figure out a way to do it. And you might find a little opportunity. That's my advice. And I could have applied to many things in my life. Which university to go to, which guitar to buy, etc. Which song to learn, which band to join. A lot of things are just gut level intuition for everything. So I would urge you to read the novels of Regis Sprockett. He has interesting books on, and also some nonfiction books, novels and nonfiction books on Amazon Kindle for 99 cents. And I also would recommend that you listen to Pinnacle Guitar by Pinnacles 49 and some of the music videos, Venus Summer. I'll put those in a music videos playlist because I haven't really done that yet. There's some music videos I made, Venus Summer, You and Me on Moody Blues Islands, and there was another one, I forgot, Islands of California. I'll put that in a special music videos section apart from Guitar by Pinnacles 49, so you can watch some videos with different music. And I'll put those links below. So later, dudes, and have a good evening or morning. It's about 3 o'clock here in Eastern Europe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, dudes. Got any questions, man? Just put them down in the comments below.